Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good, fellas? What's good, ladies? What's good, gents? We here for another Think Pieces and Conversations. I just been going through life, a lot of life, man, a lot of life. I had to buckle down. I had to turn up. I had to just reprioritize everything. Everything had to get reprioritized. Everything. That's not a joking matter. I watched the PBD podcast this morning, right? I watched PBD's podcast this morning, and Stephen A. Smith was on there. And they was talking about presidential campaign. Will he be a presidential campaign guy? Will he run for president? Can he run for president? My answer to that will be very surprising, because maybe in this platform I've said something about Stephen A. Maybe I said something negative about him, but I could be very objective in how great somebody can be for a certain position because of outside factors that might be what people tend to look at, as far as, what are the main attributes for a popular president nowadays, right? You got a Barack Obama, charismatic, can speak, he's just personable. You got Donald Trump, billionaire, he's very witty on the mic, speaks his mind. People don't even call him a politician, right? Those are the things that make those two presidents the most popular presidents in modern day history, regardless of how I feel about one or the other, right? Then you got Stephen A. Smith.
Stephen A. Smith, but he's not running for president, eh? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, bro? He's not running for president, bro.
Listen. Alright. This is what I'm gonna do for y'all, bro. I'm gonna pull out a particular part. Maybe I'll get it one time accurately, right? Maybe I'll get it accurately. But I'm gonna pull out Stephen A. Smith on the PBD Podcast and him talking on the PBD Podcast, okay?
Talking about the neighborhood and property value and property tax. I'm like this. That's not good for us. What do you think? Some of these GOP members, or even Trump himself, is bad. You don't want me in office. Let me tell you something. We're gonna throw your ass in jail. Oh, you gonna be in jail. You ain't gonna be committing crimes and getting out the same day. That's not gonna happen. I'm not telling you that there isn't police brutality. I don't pay attention to it, and I'm not saying that.
So it would be Stephen A. Bukele. You watch right now AOC's position. Even when you watch some of their positions on what they're doing, right? Even when you watch what
Gavin Newsom.
You can. Well, I think Newsom is also. You're more reasonable. You're reasonable. You're not even more reasonable. You're reasonable. To me,
watch his
a person like you, if it comes to the Republican side and you run as a center right, not as a right, like imagine like a Tulsi or a position like that, right?
Kasich?
Like Kasich, yeah. Okay. I think you would shine more than you could imagine. I think you would shine more than imagine. But also, I think you would have a shot at being it would be a different kind of a brand that we've not seen before.
Well,
now before Stephen A. responds, right? If you've been listening to how Stephen A. talks on every podcast that he's been on, since Trump has been in office, even a little bit before then, He doesn't speak like today's Democrat. He doesn't. He speaks like, especially on this podcast episode, this came out today on June 4th, 2025. On this particular episode, he talks like Donald Trump. This guy, listen to me. In this episode of the PBD Podcast, this is a 2-hour and 20-minute podcast. I'm going to let him respond to what PBD said. But this guy right here, if he says, yo, you know what? This is what I'm going to do, right? I can't go over to the Democrat Party and expect to control it, because there is people that try to control this part. They tried to change it and they failed. Bernie Sanders, JFK. There's people that tried to come to this party and failed. They had to switch. Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr. They had to switch. They had to say, you know what? There's nothing I can do with this party. So let me look at the landscape objectively. Who is the most sane party right now? The Republicans. Boom. Let me go over there. They are looking for peace. They don't want war. They want to lower taxes. They want to make food healthier. They want to stop other countries from taking advantage of this country. I think I could vibe with them. Stephen A. Smith has every single principle and talking point that he would go after if he was running for president as a conservative today. Listen to me. Listen to me. If he says, you know what? I don't care what these folks say about me being a Republican. Because, you know, they got the black folk that's still out here saying, yo, if you run Republican, you know, you're automatically racist. Yo, we living past those times now. The times are different. These times are way different. These times are about what makes the most sense, who's helping the country out the most. You gotta pick a side, right? And it's not gonna be that hard. The sides already decided this is what we want to pick. The left has all lunatic, crazy shit. Stephen A. Smith, you're a conservative. You are the next, listen to me, you are the next superstar if you ever decide to run for president. You are the next superstar. And I want y'all to mark my words. If he goes Republican, listen to me, you're not going to see, Barack Obama is going to look like a blip on the radar compared to the impact that he would have if he runs on the right. He'll be a blip on the radar. His values, everything is just different. It's conservative. Barack Obama, he wanted to make, you know, gay folks get married, and he wanted to empower the LGBTQ gang. And that was his thing. I think he's a part of that. So, you know, that's what he wanted to do. If you're a part of something, I think you should empower that and run on that. I think you should make that better, especially if you're that. You see what I'm saying? Like,
it's not gonna be something that we've seen before.
Let me confess to you that,
watch this.
I was really, really hoping you didn't go there, because I didn't want to answer this question, because I know what I'm going to say. But I'm going to say it because you're my man. Here's the deal. None of those candidates are me. Now, I have no desire. I just told y'all I just signed with SiriusXM. I got ESPN. I make some good money. I'm living a good life.
You got a
He's a rich man.
The last time you were here, you didn't have that smile before.
I'm living.
Yes.
Man, I've been
well
negotiating for a
deserved, though.
year.
Yeah. Well deserved.
You're living in the best
Well
city in the
deserved.
world, Miami.
No, let's be honest.
You're living in Miami now.
The greatest ever in the game.
Diverting away, I can't thank you enough. We talked about it. He's one of the people that I confided in a lot during my negotiations, just in terms of his business acumen, his temperament, his mentality towards, one step after another. There were very, very few people that I communicated with, and Patrick Bet-David was one of them. I cannot thank you enough from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate it. I will tell you, the life that I'm living is good, but when you talk about those candidates, getting back to that discussion, none of them are me. Bernie Sanders, God bless him. I understand who he is, but he's also a socialist, essentially. That'll never work anymore.
Listen. He knows his stuff. As he's talking, I want you to imagine this guy on a debate stage. That's the brain I need you to have. Because he could talk the talk. He could talk the talk. If he goes on the right, because if he goes on the left, they're going to destroy him. If he goes to the right, and he already has the talk to talk factor, and then once he steps in there, the folks that's on the right, they could teach him how to walk the walk. Yo, you need to be composed like this when you're doing these type of deals. You need to just listen to how he would be on a stage, on a press conference, on a podium. Just imagine it.
Never. Number one. Number 2, 3, and 4. They can talk all they want to. They don't have my voice. What I mean by that is I'm not talking about you being well known. I'm not talking about you campaigning. I'm talking about what you do every day for a living. See, they gonna come to you when they're campaigning. I'm around, period. This is what I do. So when you talk about a radio, you talk about a voice on radio, well, I have that. You talk about a voice on television, well, I have that. You talk about your own podcast, well, I have that. You know, where am I going? So anytime you try to attack, you have to think about the rebuttal I'm going to throw in your direction. And I think that I have proven throughout my career, I can resemble a tsunami raining down upon your ass anytime I want to. And that's for sports figures. That's for people in social commentary. These are politicians.
Listen, he has the next generation. He has what Trump wish he had, because Trump, he has some of this, but it's not articulated in the same. It's not as masterfully. His skill set in articulation is not as masterfully presented as this guy. This guy's skill set in articulation, because people just want somebody who doesn't deem themselves as a politician and has good policies. This guy right here has what it takes to be the next super popular president after a Barack Obama and after a President Trump. He has. I'm not saying I would vote for him if he goes Democrat, because he's gonna get tore up over there, and they're not gonna let him run as the primary candidate. If he goes Republican and he says, you know what, I'm gonna take this mantle and I'm gonna change. I'm gonna bring forth basically the same policies. He don't believe in the tariff shit. I don't know why. But 90% of his values and principles is President Trump's. But he has a better personality than anybody who's ever stepped on a debate stage to be president. Mark my words, if he goes Republican, he is going to the stars, and nobody's could stand in front of this guy if he runs as a Republican. Listen, that is the golden key for him. It wouldn't even be close, or nobody on the left. There's very few people on the right that could speak and articulate like this guy. The only thing that will stop him and the only thing that could deteriorate his run, that could get him out of here, is dirt. Because, once you run as a campaign, once you run for president, all the dirt is coming for you. Everything out your closet will be screened and exposed. He survives that. Now your policies got to be good. If your policies suck, you might still have a chance, Stephen A. You might still have a chance. Because I was watching this interview, I'm like, yo, shit. I'm like, yo, he might be a shoo-in. And I'm just looking at this objectively. Him as a Democrat, him saying certain things about Trump that was untrue because he just wanted to be, buddy with his friends that they've been voting Democrat their whole lives. And every time when a cop does something to another black person out there on the street, they want to say something on the internet, but when another black person does something to another black person, they do nothing. Like, these are the people that are in everybody's phone. We see these people every day. We talk to these people every day. They know nothing about politics. They might not even vote. They probably haven't voted for the last 3-4 elections, but they know all the negative talking points about, yo, it's two left wing, right wing, one bird, and they say all that stupid ass shit. If he defies them and says, yo, I'm running with Trump, I'm running with the right, because Trump can't run in 2028, no matter what we say. He cannot run in 2028. Yeah, the rumors is out there that he could probably find a loophole. Steve Bannon, yo.
Listen, Trump, we got a loophole. We got lawyers, and we're gonna get this guy in for the third term.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen, bro. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. This guy right here, Stephen A. Smith, is the next superstar. I'm telling you. Yo, listen to me. I'm telling you. All right.
What a record to attack. We got a $37 trillion deficit in this country, okay? Y'all had nothing to do with that. I didn't, but you did. You talking about policies involving the border. I didn't have anything to do with that. You did. You're talking about our economy and inflation ravaging us at that particular moment in time when Biden was in office. I didn't have anything to do with that. You did. The streets and crime going on in the streets and people getting off and times not, law enforcement being compromised where you got police officers retiring. I didn't do that. You did that. When you talk about tens of millions of people that are either off healthcare, off Medicaid or Medicare, right? And you're talking about those things because, again, Obamacare was essentially a tax. We keep forgetting that the Supreme Court ruled on that, and that was a tax, right? So you had that going on. And now that you're talking about veering away from that, which Trump obviously intends to do or whatever, when we look at the big, beautiful deal and all of this other stuff coming down, you're talking about tens of millions of people that are going to end up off of healthcare. I didn't do that. Y'all did that. So you have a record to attack. I don't. So I look at them and I say, you really want some? Come get some. I'm not trying to run for office or anything like that, but I'm very confident that if I were to elect to, I would be formidable enough where I could get on that debate stage. And once that happened, I can only say this to you. I can't imagine any moment in my life that I would have been more prepared for than I would for the debate stage.
And I believe that. And I believe that. And I believe that. And I believe that. Everything he just said would have riled the crowd up. Everything he just said would have riled the crowd up. everything he just said would have had people talking on Fox 5, on CBS, on ABC. Imagine him talking to any candidate you could think of on the stage across from him. And he's coming at him with the same confidence, the same articulation, the same knowing what he's talking about. He would be extremely formidable. And Trump is the last superstar of, he's the last presidential superstar. He's the latest one. Unfortunately for Trump, even though he's witty, even though he says, you know, certain things that gets under people's skin, the articulation factor that Stephen A. Smith has, the countless debates he's had at First Take, the countless debates he's had just in his life, he's been talking for his whole entire life. I don't see this guy losing. I don't see this guy. The Democrat Party can't even hold a candle to what he could do on a stage. Everything he just said, I completely agree with. He's the next Republican superstar. He's the next independent superstar. I can't say he's the next Democrat superstar because the policies that he would run for is completely against the left. And the left will take him out. PBD explains this in this video. Now, I want y'all to just picture this. 2026, 2027. You know what, guys? I think I'm gonna run. I think I'm gonna run for president, and that'll shake the earth up. It would shake the earth up. People would look at Obama and be like, you the iPhone 4. This is the iPhone 18 right here. This is the latest and greatest. This is if you watch Dragon Ball Z, this is when Barack is when Goku first hit Super Saiyan 1. He was like, yo, man. And it was just magnetic. He was the first black president. I mean, he ain't do shit, but he was the first black president. Everybody couldn't believe it. I remember in high school, everybody put their money together and went on the bus to go see Obama and watch his inauguration speech. Oh my God, we got a black president. Oh my God. In retrospect, he did nothing. In retrospect, only thing he did was help his people. Who's his people? It's not necessarily black people. Yeah, that's his people, but he didn't help them. His people was LGBTQ. That's his people. Allegedly, but the alleges ain't, them shits is sticking, I ain't gonna lie. But look, this guy right here would completely eclipse anything Barack would have did or has done, because Barack is not coming back. He'll completely eclipse it. He got the walk, he got the confidence, he got the vernacular. All he has to do is be serious about running. Are you serious about running, Stephen A. Smith? Are you serious about running? Because if you're serious about running, I'm telling you right now, because I could see talent in people, right? I see talent in people. And depending on what they're going for, of course, Stephen A. has talent. We know Stephen A. has talent. Stephen A. has been the #1 commentator for sports forever. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a talent for a certain position, a talent to be president of the United States, and you're gonna eclipse anything that Obama has done, and you could possibly eclipse what Trump has done if you take his blueprint and then maximize it. And I'm being real with you. You could surpass any president that has ever, as far as popularity, as far as, yo, this is what the people's rocking with. This is like The Rock. This is like, you see what I'm saying? Trump has statues in Japan. He got people that's cosplaying as him all over the earth. You can do the same thing. You can have the same impact. Literally have the same impact, or double it, triple it, quadruple it. You have what it takes. I think so. I think he got what it takes. This is what my whole Think Piece of Conversation episode is going to be about. This is not even a reaction to PBD's podcast in particular. This is my Think Piece and Conversation is, Stephen A., should he run as a Republican? Yes. I already stated why. If he goes to the left, they're going to destroy him. Okay? Can he surpass any other president in popularity for generations? He could surpass them all or most of them. 90% of them. Even Trump, even Barack Obama. Yes. Now, you could state what you feel like in the comments on my Instagram, TikTok, whatever. I think he is the next presidential superstar.
For a presidential election. You might not see me for a couple of months. I would hunker down and I would master every issue imaginable, and I would be more ready than I have ever been in my life just for that moment. That would be the Super Bowl for me. That would be a Game 7 of an NBA Finals or a World Series. That would be everything. And I believe that if the American people saw me and I was going up against those folks, what are you going to say to defend your actions? And as media members, you got to be careful how you come. Because if you're CNN or MSNBC and you have a preferred candidate, who would notice it quicker than me? If you're on the right, same principle, who would notice it? These are the kind of things, because I know the industry. I know the executives in the industry. I know what they're thinking and how they're thinking. I know what maneuvers they'll practice. I kind of know this. So I'm like, I'm not into it like that because I'm living a pretty good life. But they keep getting on my damn nerves. Who knows what I might do?
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying. And, you know, on stage, I think you'll shine. On eyeballs and already a status of followership, you're ahead of everybody on that side. All of those things are fine. But there's an element of values and principles that right now America is going more and more and more away from trusting the Democratic Party.
Right.
More and more away.
That's
trusting anybody on the Democratic Party. I don't, you know, for example, think about it this way. Mm-hmm. You know, you're famous for saying what? Weed, you know, when you do that thing. Like, you are not for players smoking weed. How long have you been saying that?
I'm not for players losing.
Okay. This is going off the subject that I was speaking off of, but you know who would be next? Like, PBD, right? PBD can't run for president because he is born in Iran, born and raised, I think. PBD would be clearing everybody as, I think he would clear everybody as president, but this ain't about PBD, right? Yeah, I always thought that. I was like, yo, PBD, he's a Libra, businessman, smart, prolific, works hard, influential. PBD, right? This guy, luckily, the Constitution and however the presidential campaign works with, you could only be born in America. He would smoke everybody. If they was to ever change that rule, he would smoke everybody. But this ain't about PBD because PBD can't run. PBD could put the bug in Stephen A. Smith's ear, give him some pointers, give him certain policy suggestions, give him just everything he needs to be the best possible candidate if he was to run. Because he can't run, PBD can't run, but this guy can, right? You're born here, brother. You were born here. So people gonna talk to me at work or something about this. I got some people that's close. They're gonna talk to me about this, and I think I'm calling it right now. I'm calling this right now, right? And you could mark my words. I need you to mark my words. I need you to mark this down, write it, put it in your notes, bookmark it. Throw it in a special folder so it never gets deleted. Throw it in your hiddens. Right? If Stephen A. Smith runs for president for 2028, the dirt doesn't kill him. What else? And he has good policies. He's damn near a shoo-in. He's a shoo-in. He has a 90% chance. 90% chance. If he could run, go from city to city, have the stamina to do it, have the stamina to go here, there, shake hands, get the votes, talk about his policies, which I know he could. He's been talking for his whole life. He has a 90% shot over Marco Rubio, over JD Vance, over RFK Jr., over Tulsi Gabbard. If his policies are good, there's nobody on the debate stage that could touch him. And if his policies are good, just give him the presidential pin and throw him on the stage. The Democrats could never say nothing about him. It's like, yo, you're black, you're Republican. Damn, all we do on the Democrat side is victimize our black people. But this guy, he went to the Republican side. He looks strong. He stands firm. He has good policies, and nobody could out-talk him. What are we going to do on this side? You're not going to do nothing, Democrats. It's over. It's over now. But this guy is the final nail in the coffin. He's the final burial, sir. He's like cremation for y'all. Yo, he goes to the right, just clean it up for 12 years. It's a wrap. It might be more than that, because if he gets it and he gets another term, Marco Rubio and JD Vance will be so polished for just, they're gonna learn from him, and they might take some of his star power and add it to their repertoire. And now these guys, because Marco Rubio, he's very he doesn't have it. JD Vance, he got a little bit of it, but he stays around. They stay around this guy and they learn some of that. The Republicans are gonna run the party for the next 24, 28 years. They're gonna run the country. This is objective talk. I have some biases. Stephen A. Smith is not a Republican right now. I'm talking about objective speak. Okay? Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel. Follow the podcast, Think Pieces and Conversations. I got some other projects I'm working on, but we got to brainstorm that. We got to chat GPT that. We got to do other things, and we got to make sure that thing work how I need it to work. But subscribe to the channel. I'm out of here.